Welcome back everyone. So today is part 2 of the gunsmith weapons testing. Today we'll be showing off the assault rifles and some machine guns. I'm not going to be showing off the shotgun over here. Wait, no. Yeah, over here. Because it's in its own category. It's also the only shotgun in the basic gunsmith team. And most important of all, the sort of might just be the worst gun in the entire game. It is quite terrible. Don't buy it. It's expensive and it's awful. So moving on to the micro SMG, which is our first SMG. It is also the cheapest automatic weapon in the game. Its damage is kind of low. 11 is not great damage. Its fire rate is very good though, and its capacity is also decent with 30 rounds. And again, this is the cheapest submachine gun in the entire game. So that gives it a lot of advantages, especially if you die a lot. The model of this weapon is a really old one. It goes back to like 2020. Might be the second model the submachine gun got. The first one was an Uzi, but that was phased out very quickly. Also, the real life inspiration for this gun is actually the Ingram Mac 10. you, very boxy gun. Anyways, this says it's close range accuracy. Oh my, there is a lot of spread. And this is very close range too. Like, even at this range, you will miss a lot of your shots on a target. That is a little concerning. It's not looking very good for it right now, but okay. We'll test it at medium ranges, even though it's obviously gonna be a lot worse. But this is the standard I've been testing with, so we stick with this. And of course, the spread is all over the place. At medium ranges, you will miss like 50% of your shots and not hit anything at long range. So yeah, its its accuracy is extremely bad. It's kind of realistic because the Mac 10 in real life is kind of hard to control without a stock due to the fire rate. But yeah, a little concerning. So the final rating for this gun, I'm not really sure because it's cheap but very inaccurate. So yeah, final rating I would put it at a 7 out of 10 because it has very decent capacity, an excellent fire rate, and its damage is okay. But and especially it is very cheap. It is the cheapest of machine guns, so that raises up its points by a lot. But that accuracy is what hurts it. Moving on to the would be the Riot PDW. Its damage is 12, so not much greater than the Micro SMG at nearly double the price, which is interesting. Its fire rate is also slightly lower. Not by a lot, but it is slightly lower. And the mag capacity is 25, which is weird because this MP it's using a full MP5 mag, so I'm not sure why the capacity has been reduced to 25. Maybe balancing issues? I'm really not sure. But yeah, let's buy it. Cost 2,200, so yeah, we're getting kind of expensive here. The real life basis for this gun would be the MP5K, which was meant to be used inside a briefcase, so like hidden. Also, this is the standard SMG in the sheriff team. Let's test it, guys. So close range accuracy, there is some spread, but this is perfectly acceptable because you will be hitting your shots at close range with this. Every single one will be on target. So yeah, that is okay. It's not great, not terrible either. So let's test it out at medium ranges, shall we? We take aim. and fire. Now, its spread, yeah, it's significantly wider. It's still less than the micro SMG, even at close range. So there is that. But remember, this gun is nearly double the price of the regular micro SMG. So there is that. It is quite concerning. So yeah, final marking for this gun would be a 6.5 out of 10. That's because even though its accuracy is better than the micro SMG, its capacity is slightly worse, its fire rate is slightly worse, its damage is basically the same. But most important of all, it's expensive. So even for the sheriff team where it's at 1,350, it's still quite expensive. I think this gun got nerfed. It really needs a buff because it's kind of useless right now. Moving on to the Groza, its cost is 3,100, so we're getting to the bigger price ranges. So there is that to consider. Of course, if you buy this in crates, it will be fine. Its damage is 13, which is again not much better. Like Riot PDW does 12. Its fire rate is a little, it's the same, I think, or it's basically the same. Its capacity is 30 rounds though. But then again, you get that with the SMG, the micro SMG, sorry. So there is, again, I think this gun's been nerfed. It was like nerfed at birth. But yeah, let's buy it. The model of this gun is based on the OTS 14 Groza. So this is one of the few guns in Anomic that has its proper name. So let's test out its close range accuracy. Fire. There is some spread, but then I think this is slightly better than Red PDW. So at close range, this is perfectly acceptable, you know? Let's test it out at medium ranges. And ooh, the spread is quite similar to the Riot PDW, but it is a little smaller. I'm not sure why. This gun should be more accurate since it is a carbine, so it should be accurate at medium ranges at least. So yeah, it's not looking that great. So you will struggle with this at range. Final points for this 7.5 out of 10. You could raise it to 8 out of 10 because its fire rate is quite good, and with the damage it does combo kind of well. Plus you can use this while driving a vehicle, so that is neat. But its damage is still quite low, especially for its caliber. It should be like at least 18 damage because it's the Groza uses a pretty hefty 9mm cartridge. 9mm. It's a special cartridge, but I'm not sure why its damage is so low. My guess would be to keep the advanced gunsmith weapons to be the good weapons in the game. So that's kind of cringe on the part of the devs. But yeah, personally, this is also my favorite gun in the favorite look in the basic gunsmith team because it's well modeled and all. But yeah, this gun more than the PW, this gun needs a buff, a big buff because its damage is kind of mediocre, especially for its price. And last but certainly not least, the service rifle. Costing 3,300, it is the most expensive weapon in the gunsmith team, but it's worth it. But why? Because its damage is 20, so we're finally getting good damage out of guns. So that means its fire rate is very low, which is very unrealistic because the actual real life version of this gun has higher fire rate. Its capacity is realistic for the particular model of this gun, but again, the fire rate is very low. The real life basis for this gun would, of course, be none other than the M16A1 from the Vietnam War. Let's test its close range accuracy. When I buy bullets, oh my god, I've spent every single 5.56 round I had. So here they are, buy. Alright, now that we have bullets, let's actually do the close range accuracy test. Its close range is very good in accuracy. That's a very tight grouping, and that's exactly what you want out of an assault rifle. Let's test it out at medium ranges. This one should actually do good in this. Okay, I moved it a little bit. My fault, bro, but again, that's is a very good group. That's the same grouping as the Gross and PDW at close range. That is. So yeah, this gun has very good accuracy. Probably the best long range weapon in the basic gunsmith team. So there is that. Close this. Now for the final rating of this gun, I'm gonna go ahead and give it 8.5 out of 10. Why? Because its damage is very good, especially if you can hit headshots. Its accuracy is also very good. Its capacity is fine. The only thing that harms it is the low fire rate, which is very unrealistic. But again, I think this is done so that the devs can promote the advanced gunsmith pass. So yeah, that's kind of bad on the developer part. Hope they don't make it pay to win the entire game, but you can still win duels against people with AKs on this thing. If you can get cover, even people with AKs will fall to this rifle. So again, this might be, in terms of actual usability, my favorite gun in the gunsmith team. Personally, I also really just love the M16A1 look. It's pretty cool. Even though, considering that this game is kind of, well, it takes place in 1992, so this should be the M16A2 because this is a service rifle. So yeah, final rating would be 8 out of 10. Now, with all that being said, thank you for watching, like and subscribe. I am Tetraxis, and I'm signing out.